Welcome. Hi, my name is Katt and I'm a yoga teacher and a yoga therapist. And today we're going to be doing a 15-minute gentle chair yoga sequence. But all you'll need is a straight back chair, just like I've got here. A straight back chair is really good because it gives us a solid foundation to sit on. We're going to be seated throughout the whole time of the practice, so you don't need to stand up. Before we start, it's a good idea to remember a few things. Remember that I can't see you, so listen to how your body feels. If anything hurts, stop. And it might be a good idea to tell someone in your home that you're doing this practice so they can listen out and just make sure that you're okay. Okay? Alright, let's get started. Find a seat. Okay, so we found our seat. Have a little wiggle and just settle into that. Plant the feet on the floor. And if the floor is a little far away and you're up on your tiptoes, then maybe bring a book, something solid underneath so you can rest the feet on the floor and you can rest your hips onto the chair. Okay, so let's bring the arms down by the sides of the body and then start to slide the shoulders up to the ears and give them a little squeeze and then release down. And again, sliding the shoulders up to the ears, little squeeze and then release. Let's do that again, sliding the shoulders up to the ears and then release. Now start to bring the shoulders back, sliding the shoulder blades towards each other. Give them a little squeeze and then we'll come back to the middle. Let's do that 2 more times, sliding the shoulders back, little squeeze and then release. And again, 1 more time. And then soften. So now we'll start to bring the shoulders forward. So sliding the shoulders forwards. Imagine you're trying to bring the 2 fronts of the shoulders towards each other. And then slowly slide them back. Let's do that again. Sliding the shoulders forwards. And then back. Keep breathing. Notice if you hold your breath. Easily done. So now bring your awareness to that space in between the collarbones. You're going to imagine we're taking a little hook, and you can even do this with your fingers if you like, your fingers and thumbs. You're going to lift up and sit a little bit taller, shrugging the shoulders down. Allow the arms to rest down by the sides of the body and rotate the palms to face forwards just as much as they'll go. Begin to sweep the arms forwards and up. Go as far as feels comfortable for your shoulders. We'll flip the palms at the top and then bring the arms down. Keep the chest lifted and bring the arms back behind you just as far as they go. Flip and then sweep the arms forwards and up. Flip and then bringing the arms down and back. Let's do that a few more times. Okay, let the arms rest there. And then we'll bring the arms out in front. Rotate the palms to face up. And then bring the arms wide. Again, just as far as feels comfortable. My arms are a bit wonky. Flip the palms and then come down through the middle and cross over the front. Flip the palms up. We'll go wide again. And do that a couple of times. Remember, you can always stop if something feels a little too much. Arms have got a mind of their own today. How wonky they are. See, we're all a little bit wonky. Lovely, and then release. Have a little wiggle. Get to know me. I love a little wiggle and a shimmy. Okay, let's bring the hands onto the tops of the thighs, and we're going to come into some pelvic tilts. I'm going to show you from the side. So with the hips resting onto the chair, you might want to shimmy a little further away if you're really close to the back of the chair. And we're bringing our awareness to your hips. As a suggestion, bring one hand on the front and one hand on the tailbones. That's the knobbly bit at the base of the spine, the tailbone. And we're going to draw the tailbone down, rolling back. Kind of feels like you're slumping into the sofa. That's in a slumping position. And then lift the tailbone and roll the hips forwards. Front of the hand gently moves down. Now I'm exaggerating this movement. It might not be this big. That's fine. Tailbone starts to drop down. So rolling the hips forwards and back on the chair. I'm just showing you from the side to give you that visual. Let's do that a few times. Maybe the hands here isn't comfortable. That's okay. Bring the hands in front, resting onto the thighs. And explore rolling the hips forwards and back. Just bringing a little bit of movement into the hips, the lower back, rolling forwards and back. Remember, even if it's a tiny movement, that's okay. We'll do one more. Rolling the hips forwards, tailbone lifts. And then rolling the hips back, tailbone drops down. Alright, slowly coming back up to a seated position. Maybe shoulders slide down. We'll now come into cat-cow. So hands resting onto the knees. You can take hold of the knees, get a little grip, and then roll the hips back, like you're leaning back. Hold onto the knees, and lean back a little more. Shoulders and upper back starts to round, and we can bring the chin down. Have a little wiggle, see what that feels like in the upper back. Start to roll the hips forwards now. Pull the knees towards you. Everything is gentle. Lift the chest, lift the head slightly, and maybe elbows come into the sides of the body. A gentle arch into the back. Sliding the hands down towards the knees and then leaning back again, rounding into the back, rounding into the spine. Chin comes down slightly. Rolling the hips forwards. Sides, upper arms come into the sides of the body, lift the chest. And after a few times, maybe we can find a bit of a fluidity between these two movements, sliding the hands along the thighs. Have a play. Do one more. And coming back. Sitting up nice and tall, softening into the shoulders. So now we're going to come into a twist, a rotation. So bring the feet, if they're nice, if they're wide, you might want to heel toe them a little closer maybe touching if that feels comfortable. Start to bring the left hand onto the outside of the right knee, sitting up a little taller, and then we'll bring the right arm in front. Now the shoulder's quite soft, the elbow is soft, and the wrist. Start to sweep the right arm round towards the back. And we'll come through the middle, over to the other side, and maybe tap the opposite shoulder. Let's do that again, sweeping the arm round towards the back, and coming back through the middle, tap the opposite shoulder. It's nice and fluid. Let's do one more, sweeping the arm round towards the back. It comes through the middle, across, tap the opposite shoulder, and then unwind the arms, placing both hands onto the tops of the thighs. We'll walk the feet a little further away and come into a forward fold. So leaning forward, come down onto your forearms, and then take the weight, so allowing the weight of the body to ease down. Notice I'm having a little bit. Breathing here. Feel free to do a sigh if that feels good. And then bring the hands onto the tops of the thighs, shoulders slide down, push, and come all the way back up to seated. Walk the feet back in, and we'll do the other side. So this time the right hand comes onto the outside of the left knee, and the left arm in front, softening into the shoulder, the elbow, the fingers. And then begin to sweep the left arm round towards the back. Maybe you'd like to follow the movement with your eyes. Your eyes could be on the fingertips, following the movement. Or maybe you keep the gaze forwards if that feels a bit more stable. Maybe you have a play. What would you like to do today? Every practice is all about finding the option that suits how you're feeling today. And as you come back to this practice, if you do this again, then those options may evolve and change each time. Okay, one more. Easing back towards the front. And then bringing both hands onto the tops of the thighs. We'll step the feet out a little longer and come into another forward fold. Sitting up a bit taller and then leaning forward, sliding onto the forearms. That might be enough. Feel free to stay here. If there's a little more space, you can shimmy down. Or maybe even let the hands hang and come down a little further. But if you try that and it feels, oh, that's a bit much, you can take it back a step. How do you feel today? Let's bring the hands onto the tops of the thighs, push, and come all the way up, take your time. Up to seated. Walking the hands back in, walking the feet back in. Hands and feet get mixed up all the time. Okay, let's bring the arms down by the sides of the body. We're going to take hold of the chair with the right hand. Start to bend into the right elbow as we go over to the side. Just a little bit. Press into the right hand and then come back up. Swap sides, so take hold of the left side with the left hand, bending into the elbow. So we're supporting a side stretch here. Just press to come back up. And we can do that again. Over to the right. And then over to the left. Maybe you want to try with the arms down. Make sure the feet are nice and planted. And we just gently allow the right hand. Imagine that right hand getting a little heavier. It's coming back to the center. Press down through the feet. Sit up a little taller. And then over to the other side. We press down through the feet to come back to the middle. And if that feels okay, we'll do that again. Just check you're not holding your breath. Don't worry, that can happen when we're concentrating. The last time to that side, and come back to the middle. Press the hands, and if you notice you were holding your breath, let's take a breath together in through the nose and sigh it out. So it's time to sit back now. So we can shimmy the hips back, rest the back onto the back of the chair, and get a little comfy. Hands resting onto the tops of the thighs. Palms can be up or down, or maybe interlacing, and just resting in your lap. We're going to take a moment of calm, focusing on the breath. So the breath today is breathing in through the nose, and then when you breathe out, breathing out through the mouth, as if you're blowing a kiss to someone. I call this kissing breath. So we're going to softly breathe in through the nose, and then imagining you're blowing a kiss out through the mouth. And again. Doing that a few more times in your own time. Remember, everyone's breath is different. We'll take a breath. How are you feeling? Take a moment to notice how you're feeling after that practice today. Give yourself a big thank you for the time you set aside. We'll bring the hands together. A little bow. A little bow of the head to honour this time that you set aside for yourself. Nurturing movement and awareness. Release the hands. Thank you so much for joining this practice today. If you like this practice, then like the video and then subscribe for more.